Hey everyone, welcome to another week of art class. We're still working on our color unit and working with paper to kind of do a collage style this week. So we're learning about the work of Alma Thomas and seeing her style, which is a really colorful mosaic. And we're going to use her work as inspiration for creating our own color collages. So you see in these examples, Alma Thomas borrows colors from the real world, but she's not too concerned with making really realistic representations. So after seeing some examples of her work, hopefully that gives you some inspiration about something you might want to create. Think about maybe there's a scene, an image that you want to borrow colors from to create your own artwork. But first, here's what we'll need. So once I've collected all my materials and I'm ready to go, I'm going to start by kind of just doing a little research, and maybe it's just thinking about what would I want to show? What do I want to create my collage based off? Maybe it's a scene from outside. Maybe I want to show an image of my house. Maybe an animal, a toy, something I like. I'm going to choose a picture of a sunset. So I'm going to go find a picture that I like. You can search the web, or you can just go from something in real life, depending on what you have access to. So I found this picture of a sunset. So I'm going to look at my picture of my sunset and think about what colors I'll need. So I'm going to do yellow, orange, a kind of pink, a purple, and really dark purple, almost black. So now I know what colors I need. I'm going to look for which colors most closely match those from our art kit. So I pulled out my yellow, my orange. I think my red is closest to the pink than the pink from the art kit. And I have a purple. I don't have quite that dark purpley black. So what I'm going to do instead is use that same purple, but color on it with some of my markers. So I have some like dark Sharpies and markers that I'm going to use to kind of try and color the paper to mimic that color from the photo I'm using. Then, once I've got my colors, I can set those aside, and I'm going to just try and sketch the shapes onto my paper from that artwork. So I'll work for a minute and show you kind of what I mean. So I made a sketch of just kind of the rough shapes from the image and what colors I think I'll put there. Doing the sketch is kind of the challenge version of this assignment. If you want to just use colors from the picture and make your own collage, however it turns out, that is totally fine. If you're looking for kind of the challenge and to kind of arrange your mosaic pieces in places that they would go from the image, then you can follow what I'm doing. If you're just ready to just use colors and put it on the page, that's totally fine too. So what I'm going to do is I've got two options. I can either rip tiny mosaic pieces, just kind of like this, kind of the size of your thumbnail is a good size. I can choose to do that, or I can choose to use my scissors and cut pieces to be a little more precise. So what I would do then is just cut a long piece like this, and then just cut, again, size of about my thumbnail for those pieces. So I'm just going to cut up a bunch of pieces for my collage. And I'm going to think about, okay, I don't need very much yellow. I don't need very much red. I need a lot of purple and then a fair amount of orange. So I'm going to get to working on that. All right, I just finished up with all my cutting. I've got all my colors cut into little squares and ready to go. Next, I'm going to look at my picture, my sketch, and just kind of lay my tiles right on top of the colors and the shapes that I've made. So you can watch me work on that part. Now that I have everything laid out on my paper how I want it, I just need to glue. And you've got some options. If you have a glue stick, that's what I would go with. It's just less mess. If you only have the liquid glue from the art kit, that's totally fine. I would just warn you, don't use a lot. Maybe just a tiny dot on each piece of paper. That will just keep you from making too much of a mess. So glue stick is better. If you only have the liquid glue, that'll work. So now I'm just gonna get to work on gluing. All right, so I just finished all my gluing, and here you can see my finished work. So it doesn't totally look just like the picture. It's not supposed to, but you can tell that I got the same color palette as that picture. I borrowed the colors. It can look like a sunset, or you could just use your yellow, orange, red, and purple paper and make something totally different. So the idea is just to borrow the colors from somewhere else and create something your own. Now it's your turn.